Hey now everyone, it's Steve Sievers for Bionic Buzz. We're here at the world famous San Diego Comic Con. It feels so good to be back. Now before we get started, we appreciate your support. Please hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and follow us on all social media. Now let's go see who we can talk to.
You know,
talk about working on Miss Marvel.
I can talk about working on Miss Marvel. Yeah.
That's great.
All right,
Thank you.
let's talk about that then.
Okay.
So it's Miss Marvel, set in India and Pakistan. And the clip they showed and in the series,
Yeah.
there are different elements from that.
Right.
Are you familiar with music from that part of the world, or how did you get familiar with that world and incorporate some of the themes, everything from the instruments to the choral?
Yeah, I mean, I was familiar with it because I'd done a bunch of South Asian projects, and I'd actually collaborated with Sharmeen Obiad-Chinoy, who was the director of episodes 4 and 5, which are the episodes that took place in Pakistan. But, you know, South Asian music is a massive musical tradition. It's like classical music, a Western classical music. So you can't go in there as a tourist. So I collaborated with people, and Sana Amanat, who's the showrunner for Ms. Marvel, and in fact is Ms. Marvel. She wrote the comic, she created the character. She had some suggestions, and one of the really key ones was a violinist named Raginder, a Pakistani violinist. So he's playing a lot of the score. I worked with about 10 South Asian musicians who were in India and Pakistan, and then we recorded multiple voices here also in LA, we put together a South Asian choir. But in addition to that, we had a big orchestra. For Kamala Khan, I mean, she's not only South Asian, but she's a teenager from New Jersey, and she's also a Marvel superhero. So the challenge of that one was really trying to figure out how you can have these three elements and how they can work together musically and kind of move in and out of them.
And the backstory episode with the parents is so epic by itself.
Yeah.
Visually. It's its own story.
Well, it's like Gandhi. It's like a 3-hour movie packed
exactly.
into one. Yeah.
And the score totally matched and fit.
Thank
can
you.
Talk about that episode.
I had 5 days.
Wow. Wait, what?
Yeah, I had 5 days.
That's
I had
crazy.
no time. And
It's so epic though.
No, with Ms. Marvel, literally, we were recording every week. It was crazy, and it was hard. And because, of course, the partition of India, it was the biggest migration of humans in the history of all humanity. And it's a story that people don't know, which is
Yeah, I had no idea.
I had no
That's
idea.
all I
well, it's I was thinking about that scene. Of course, we have seen all kinds of trains moving people in terms of World War II, but we haven't, at least a lot of Western people haven't seen it in terms of this particular context, and it's so urgent, it's so important, and so much a part of the story of the world. And so it was really, it was very, very important to me to get it right. And so I held hands with Sana, and Sharmeen, and we kind of, we got through it together, and we talked through it and figured out really what was right and how we could tell this incredible, beautiful story. And I think it's the first time that actual history has been brought into the MCU, and so we all felt like it was a huge platform to be able to tell a story that was really important to a lot of people.
Yeah, I talked to my South Asian friends every episode as the show came out, and I was like, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
And they're like, you don't usually talk about that. It's
No,
totally nailing it.
Apparently every South Asian family has a partition story,
Yeah, exactly.
and it's a big one, and I did the score for Lovecraft Country, and episode 9 of Lovecraft Country, which tells the story of the Tulsa Massacre, felt very similar to me, because it was like these stories that everybody should know but have been buried in a lot of the history that we know here in this country. So anyway, it feels like a calling to be able to tell those stories. Very important.
Thank you for doing that.
Sure.
Hi, Laura.
Yeah.
Swara with But Why Though. Your music in Miss Marvel was great. I especially love what you mentioned about Kamala as a teenager,
Yeah.
and how did you try to incorporate themes like that are on a lighter
Bouncy.
topic?
Yeah. I mean, just bouncy electronics, just like what. I mean, it's been a few years since I've been a high school girl, But I do have people around me. No, it's just there are three kinds of music in that show. There's the superhero stuff. There's the that fused with South Asian elements, and then there's just a bouncy teen, and that's who she is. I mean, she's as effervescent and bouncy as they get. She's great. Don't you love her?
Yeah, Iman Vellani does such a great job.
Kills it. She kills it. Yeah, I love her. She's great. I'll tell you this: she's great in the Marvels. Yeah,
That's what you can.
There we go.
that I can say. She's great.
Awesome.